All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to show you a typical example of a very sneaky media trick, a media scam, whereby the media pretends to show you an article, and actually it's an advertisement that's paid for by the person that's featured. You see this a lot with Robert Kiyosaki, Dave Ramsey, and now we're seeing it with Meredith Whitney. Now, this latest news article, parentheses, ad, Meredith Whitney was floating around past few days. Don't see it on this main page right now. However, it's made its way to other portions of Yahoo Finance. For example, we'll take a look at individual stocks. So Newmont Mining, one of my recent picks, in the low 30s all the way down. And so for those in the securities analysis trading webinar, this is doing quite well. Notice there's an ad here. Hair transplant. Okay, just notice that. So let's take a look now at the conversations. First on the list, Meredith Whitney. I'm going to go ahead and show you this ad, which is really, it's disguised as news, and it's not news, it's an ad. And as I've explained, Meredith Whitney is on a campaign. She's on an ad spree to promote herself. She's paying the media to promote herself. And of course, the media talks about how she predicted the financial crisis. Absolute lie. That's fraud. She didn't do it. Meredith Whitney is going along with it. That means she's committing fraud. Meredith Whitney, you're guilty of fraud. Well, not guilty. Let's go to court and see. You're a fraudster, Meredith Whitney. You didn't predict the financial crisis. And I'm going to show you a video here, if I haven't already released it, showing you the actual evidence that Meredith Whitney uses to claim that she predicted the financial crisis. Oracle of Wall Street. If anyone, folks, is the Oracle of Wall Street, it's probably me. I'm the guy that's predicted most of the major events and called most of the market tops and bottoms over the past nearly 20 years, for which I have been providing research, and I've got a track record that shows that. But anyway, I've been banned because I exposed the reality about corporate America and Wall Street, and the media promotes frauds, cons, broken clocks, idiots, in order to create the dumb money. You're the dumb money if you pay attention to the media. Wall Street and the media, they're all buddies. They're taking your money. If you don't figure that out, I've been explaining it for 20 years. So let me show you more examples here. So you can see her at the top of the list. Let's take a look here. Okay. There's the other ad. You say, Mark Cuban, this guy's a loser. Complete loser. Been fast. Meredith Whitney. Notice she's at the very top. Why is she at the very top? That's interesting. Is it coincidence? Let's take a look at some other stocks here. Apple. She's at the very top. See the ad, right? At least they've stated this is an ad. You understand, folks? You think it's a coincidence? Let's take a look at another stock here. Meta. Conversations. Voila. There you have it. So it's pretty obvious that this is an advertisement paid for by Meredith through her PR firm, and she wants to get back in the limelight because she's now, after hiding for 8 years, Meredith is coming out now trying to spruik her so-called investment research to the retail crowd. Now, just a reminder of Meredith Whitney, of course, Meredith did not predict the financial crisis. That's a fact. And I claim, Mike Stathis, she's committing fraud. She's lying by saying that. Media is committing fraud by saying that. Anybody can prove that she predicted the financial crisis. Let's go. Place a bet. Let's go. Meredith Whitney did not predict the financial crisis. That's a fact. Look into it. In fact, every single person that the media claims predicts the financial crisis, I have not found any of them. As far as I know, I'm the only person to have predicted the financial crisis. If you think that's funny, if you're laughing, look at my track record and look at each person that they claim predicted the financial crisis. Look at the evidence that they claim was indicative of that prediction and compare it. Folks, I can tell you right now, there's nobody that predicted the financial crisis truly but moi, Mike Stathis. In 2 books, I wrote in detail what would happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I went through an analysis, and almost all the major forecasts I made materialized. I predicted that Fannie and Freddie would collapse, file for bankruptcy, and require a government bailout. I recommended to short them. This is, early 2007 in my second book, which was about a year and a half, close to 2 years before the financial crisis peaked out, right? Before anybody knew what was going on. And I guided investors how to do that. Recommended to short the subprimes, knew they were going bankrupt. Recommended to short the banks, the home builders, and I even forecast a bottom in the Dow. Once again, this was in late 2006 in my book, America's Financial Apocalypse. The 2006 extended version, the original version. I mentioned that the Dow could bottom at 6,500. Guess what? March 10th, 2009, 2.5 years later, after I wrote that book, the Dow bottomed at 6,500. That's right. And I even wrote articles about 3 to 4, starting in 2008, I think August 2008 through the following year, pointing to that bottom again. And on March 10th, 2009, I recommended for the first time investors start buying into the market. For the first time, I mean, as it was going down, I didn't recommend to buy it. Okay, it's very important to note that. Many other forecasts I made, okay, that materialized. So you can see an example of the media fraud and all these people out there. Folks, name the person. And I'm working on a piece to go over all these individuals. And by the way, it seems like every year there's a new person coming out of the woodwork claiming that they predicted the financial crisis. I made this prediction 10 years ago. I said, look, as time goes on, people forget the details. There's going to be more scam artists that claim they predicted the financial crisis. Okay, so now we have Robert Kiyosaki has claimed that. Complete liar and fraud. It's a joke. Even Chris Martenson, the futurist fraudster scammer. Chris Martenson, the liar, the guy, complete bold-faced lying scumbag, grifter, fear-mongering, gold-pumping scumbag. He claims he predicted the financial crisis. Who else? Well, of course, Peter Schiff claims none of these people predicted the financial crisis. None of them. And I can guarantee you, not a single one of them. Jim Rickards, who else? Even John Malden. They claim he predicted it. They claim, who else? So many people. And I can tell you, folks, Ray Dalio, no, he didn't. Raoul Paul, the scam artist, the complete disaster scam artist, liar, fraud, also claimed to predict the financial crisis. Guaranteed, folks, not a single one of these individuals that claim to have predicted the financial crisis, or what they do is they get the media to make that claim, you see, so that they're not kind of on the hook for making false claims. But in reality, they are on the hook because they're allowing the media to say this. They're giving the media the bio. Guaranteed, none of these people will confront me on a neutral platform and on a debate, because I'll rip them to shreds. I will show that they didn't predict the financial crisis. Okay, I will prove it. So once again, folks, you're getting stool pigeons. You're getting broken clocks, cons, and airheads out there being promoted as experts. The fund managers that were glorified in a fictional Hollywood movie, they didn't predict the financial crisis. They made a bet. If you're going to predict something like the financial crisis, you're going to claim that you predicted something as colossal, as unprecedented as that. You can't just come out and say, oh, well, the banks are going to collapse, everything's bad, and the economy's bad. You can't do that. You have to show a very detailed written thesis and explain what's going on in a detailed manner and explain what you think is going to happen. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to have some consistency with what ends up happening. Okay, so hopefully you'll see this video on Meredith Whitney. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to point out the so-called evidence that has attributed to her so-called prediction of the financial crisis. Meredith Whitney is trying to pitch her bullshit so-called research, which, by the way, keep in mind, Meredith Whitney was also the loser who came out and made this prediction in 2010 that more than 200 municipalities in America would default on their debt. She was featured on 60 Minutes, made it look like she was credible, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So what did she do? Well, she tried to form a credit rating agency, and the regulators realized she's a joke. They didn't give her approval. She was charging institutions $100,000 per year for her research. What? You're going to pay $100,000 to lose your ass? Are you kidding me? Fucking scam. But you know, she's got a little connection. She's in the cabal. You know how that works. So you know, maybe she got a few suckers to pay her some cash. And then she tried to run a hedge fund. Failed, blew up, and so then she departed from the public limelight. She ran away for 8 years, hiding in shame, and now she's coming back, and she's catering her trash to the dumb money. And you know what? I'm sure a lot of suckers are going to fall for her. Why? You got the dumb money falling for all these fake investment gurus on ScamTube, after all. So, I mean, who are they not going to fall for? Anyway, that's all I've got to say about this loser, Meredith Whitney.